it's hard to say. Tim Summers, which is the youth pastor of Elevation Church, got fired for investigation, allegations about what has, probably he did back in Texas. This is a very difficult topic because I don't wish this to anybody. We all deserve respect. We all deserve grace. We all deserve salvation. The problem with that is like we have consequences for our actions. And it's really important for you guys to understand that God can forgive anything that you do, but at the same time, it's up to him. And I'm not saying he's going to. I'm not affirming anything because the Bible doesn't say nothing about that. It's up to him. He's God. He can actually deal with the consequences of your actions. The problem with that is, are you learning something from this? Did you learn something from this? Now, when we go back to 1 Timothy 3, we see the qualifications for an overseer, with the qualifications for a church leader. And this is something very important for a lot of people to understand. When you go into a church, when you go to your local church, appreciate your pastor. He's doing the best he can. Appreciate them. Appreciate and just tell him like, good job. Thank you for living a life of example, that's actually what the Bible has called pastors, leadership in the church, to give and live an example. But also, he has called us to a different standard, which is live a life with accountability. Accountability is something very important. You don't know the hearts of people. The Bible, it's clear also that even though Jesus knew the intentions of Judas, he gave him a chance. God gives us a lot of chances. Do you agree with that? God gives us a lot of chances. I always say that God is the God of the first. He's the God of the first, second, third, fourth, fifth opportunities, and more and more and more. How many opportunities? How many more opportunities? Let's go to the video really quick. It's very sad, this situation. I don't wish. I feel bad for his family. Talking about Tim Somers, youth pastor of Elevation Church. They did the right thing. Unfortunately, you have to comply with the law, and you have to literally just do what you have to do. Let's go to the video.
I wanted to come here and share this story with you guys, something that's happening at Elevation Church, a very famous church, and we know the leader of that church is Pastor Stephen Furtick, okay? Before I continue, I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching this on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and of course, thank you to everybody who's listening to this using Pandora Podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Pandora.
Also to different.
Still Pandora.
Okay, so you guys know that a lot has been happening when it comes to things that are being brought up to the surface, specifically in the Church of Christ. And I guess since the beginning of 2024, we have seen so many things that are being exposed. And this is just another example. Unfortunately, people can look at this and really say, why even bother to even join a church? Why even bother to believe in whatever it is that they're believing? Because when you see things like this come out to the surface, definitely it gives a bad reputation to the Church of Jesus Christ. Because new believers, they barely will look at the church and be like, well, they barely will look at Christ, how we're supposed to just focus on Christ and not look at what people are doing. It's the easiest thing as a human being to be like, why you want me to follow Jesus if I see what the followers of Jesus are actually doing, right? We always look at what people are doing. That's why people say sometimes, you might be the only Jesus some people will only know, right?
Yeah.
I do apologize about that.
That's actually pretty good. Bump to that. You might be the only person and the only Jesus who people meet. Oh no, man, that actually hit me. That is actually pretty good. Now, let me just tell you this. Um, let me just check before we go into this. There's no commercials. It's very sad, very unfortunate what is happening with the church in America. A lot of scandals, a lot of things going on. Yet again, you got to go back to the main purpose of every leader in the church, including actually in political seats, you name it. Every leader is called to a different standard. I understand that. I've been a leader. I've been actually a leader in the company I used to work for. You name it. And now God has given me an opportunity to be a leader in my local church below my senior pastor. We all need accountability. We all need this type of, how do I say this? We need this type of reminders. And actually, First Timothy 5 actually says that. Paul says that this type of stuff, it happens. Let me just go put this on the screen. It happens to be a reminder for us that it happened to people in the Bible. It could happen to us. We all need grace. We all need love. We all need restoration. And I pray for his family. I pray for Tim's family. I pray for his marriage. I pray that this can be addressed in the best way and the most loving way. Also, at the same time, may God give the victims and people whatever they need in the restoration they need. Let me just read it that way. But let's just read this, right? Charlotte-based mega church Elevation Church fired its youth pastor, Tim Summers, in late February for alleged as sexual misconduct. Let me just put it that way. Summers accused misconduct is with his student or students in youth ministry of Oaks Church in Red Oaks, Texas, where he served about 12 years ago. How old is Tim? Let me just pull it up. How old is Tim? Tim, what's his name? Summers. Age. Biography. There we go. It's hard to get. Nothing. He looks like he's in his 40s, something like that. Anyway, he looks young. 12 years ago, actually, was, I was what, 32? So, I mean, you have accountability in those days. So anyway, Summers accused of misconduct is with a student or students with the youth ministry of Oaks Church in Red Oaks, Texas, where he served 12 years ago. As soon as Elevation learned about these allegations, they said, at the local Texas authorities and immediately placed him on leave. A spoken person for Elevation Church told the Christian Post, no charges have been filed. Red Oak Police Department, LT Jason Squivel, told Ministry Watch the department is unable to release details about Summers' alleged misconduct. It is still an open investigation. They're still sifting through the case, so we are not releasing any information, they said. Summers was on staff at Elevation for more than 8 years, where he worked with youth in Elevation Rhythm, the church's youth ministry or music ministry. While no charges against Summers have been filed, the allegations surfaced during an investigation of Jerry Nickerson, who also served at Oaks Church. According to Premier Christian News, Nickerson was an intern. My eyes. Sorry, guys. An intern at Oaks Church from 2009 to 2011. Oh, so that was, yes. Oof. Before joining the staff from 2011 to 2013, Nickerson voluntarily confessed that he had inappropriate contact with a minor while serving at Oaks Church. Can I just say I'm very disappointed? Let me just go back to my screen really quick. I'm very disappointed because I said this many times. The church has been looking for, if I can put it in a Bible perspective, they've been looking for King Sauls, someone who looks good, someone who speaks good, someone who actually have a good appearance. But there's a back door in the church. That back door is wide open, meaning the leadership, they should imply, teach, correct, check. They didn't do it. And I'm not saying every single church like this, because I know some churches that have just been amazingly technically just making sure their staff it's running the way it's supposed to run. Once again, this is a very tough topic because, again, we teach preachers how to preach, but you got to be reminded that sometimes those preachers are not meant to lead. Once again, we teach preachers how to preach, but sometimes those preachers, mostly those preachers, are not meant to lead a church. That is sometimes the truth. That is the truth, if I can actually say that. That is the truth. Sad, and I just want to go with this. I'm not going to go back to 1 Timothy. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to go back to 1 Timothy. You guys know 1 Timothy and all this stuff. 1 Timothy 3, the qualification for an overseer. You guys know that one. My thing is, don't put brand new people or brand new in the faith to lead a youth group. Why? This is a result why. If you're not going to be checking on them, if you're not going to be behind them teaching, I'm not saying don't put them to lead. If you see they have leadership skills, teach them. I would just put it this way. If Jesus waited 30 years to begin his ministry, if Jesus waited 30 years to begin his ministry, what makes you think a 20-year-old is ready to lead a youth group? Now, I'm not saying it could happen. I don't know exactly how old Timothy was, put it in the perspective of the Bible again. But you got to remember, every single person who was in leadership, apostles, they went through a time of learning, not leading, learning. But when you put people to learn and lead at the same time, and not observe and not see things before they make mistakes, these things like this, let me just go back. Things like this are going to happen. I'm not putting wood into the fire, more wood. What I'm saying is I feel bad for his family. I feel bad for him. And I pray that God can restore anything broken in his life right now. His marriage, his kids. My goodness. Like, he has a family. He had a job. It could happen. Again, if Jesus began his ministry when he was 30 years old, what makes us think that we can put a 20-year-old to lead a youth group? I was there. I'll be honest with you. My dad is like, "Oh, you're gonna lead the youth group." I was like, "I have no experience with that. I don't go for it." But I was not mimicking anybody. I was not actually serving someone under me, or above me. I was not actually listening to anyone. I was just saying things because I did not know anything in life. I'll be honest with you. I started actually leading the youth group when I was 19, and I left it. I was just like, "Nope, this is not for me. Not right now." I understood something in my life that I need to make sure I need to learn in this season. And maybe later God is going to open the door for that. But it's not that I actually have to be thinking, "Oh, I have to be a leader." If you're looking for positions, I think they you don't understand what ministry is. To me, that's what it is. You don't understand what ministry is. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this, but I want to make sure we understand. I'm not throwing stones to someone who's fallen. What I'm trying to do is create awareness for all of us to make good, rational decisions based on the biblical standard. Leaders are called to a different standard of life. I understand that. Jesus was called in his ministry to live a different standard. We have that standard based on the character of Jesus. When you don't have this standard displayed in you, that's why you need a relationship with God all the time. You cannot let go. Sometimes there's times that I don't want to pray right here. Normally, I just wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to start praying and reading the Bible. I got all the stuff right here. Read the Bible. And it's tough. It is tough. I'm not going to say it was, oh my goodness, it's amazing. I cannot wait. No, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I just want to go back to sleep. Yes, yet I understand that I have my daughters watching me. When they open the door, when they wake up, they see me praying, they see me reading the Bible. And going back to your kids, parents, does your kids actually watch you and they see you reading the Bible? They see you praying. How many times that happened? I challenge you. This is not just only for leadership or church leadership, pastors. This is it's for all of us. It's a reminder. Again, 1 Timothy 5 says this. Paul actually explains this. Public ministry is a public rebuke if the leader has been fallen in some sort of a moral sin. And we have to say it, and we have to tell everybody. It's a reminder again. I'm not throwing stones again. I'm not throwing stones to anybody. Because it's sad. He has a family. He has kids. Oh goodness. I don't know what to say. Anyway, we just finished it.